So one thing that's always really impressed me about Futurus, and we've been here a lot because we love their space. You have one of the cooler spaces
Thank you.
that we've
well, they
helped
found
with.
it for us.
Yeah.
So.
And typically we help people with the design and everything else, but you, however, knew exactly what you wanted, how to lay it out. It was really cool to see. But you guys have a tightness that I just don't. I mean, we see in some companies, but y'all are so tight. You're so friendly with one another. You guys just seem to genuinely enjoy being around each other. How did you create that? How are you intentional about that?
Yeah, so that was something that I knew from a very beginning that I wanted to create a workplace that I had not experienced before.
Yep.
I've worked in some great places before starting this company, but none of them I really felt had that familial quality. And while of course there is a very high level of professionalism here in what we do and the software development, you're spending more time with these people than you are with your own family. So we wanted to make sure that it was not just a great place to work physically and a great product that we're creating, but also that we like working with each other.
Yep.
We did a lot of research before we did quite a bit of hiring last year. We went from 5 employees to 10 really quickly, and now ever since then, with the addition of some contractors and even part-time employees, we're up to 15.
Nice.
But with that, we were really intentional about culture fit, making sure that people would be able to communicate with each other. We have a big challenge of working in the unknown. So a lot of the products we create have never been done before, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and that's got to be fun.
But
too.
that could be a high stress situation. So we wanted to make sure that we found people who were really willing to adapt and change. And with a lot of software developers especially, like that is a super regimented task. Like everything is code based, and but what we're doing is also has a lot of creative elements to it. So we tried to find the people who could balance that as well as think differently about challenges, and also not get too stressed out when something didn't work. Instead, think of ways that you can figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
And one other thing that's always impressed me with you guys too is your marketing. You do a great job, the self-marketing, but then the company does a great job of marketing too. So I'm curious, what's one of the cooler or more creative things you've done with marketing? I actually have what I think it is, but I'm not going to bring it up. I want to know what you personally, what is one of the more creative things you guys have done as far as marketing is concerned?
There are a few. And when we think about marketing, like we're also just thinking about how to tell our brand story and just the whole package of what you're getting when you work with us. So because we do so much custom work and so much in the unknown, it's not like we have one product that we can just blast you with ads. We have to come up with creative ways to do that. In addition to quite a few speaking engagements and education that I do, we also try out new technology and share our findings with people through both our blog as well as our occasional Twitch stream. Okay. So Twitch is an amazing platform for gamers or other people, anyone, to be able to live stream to a public audience. There are even ways to generate revenue that way. We don't do it for that reason, but it allows us to say, okay, we got a new piece of hardware. How can we create an engaging kind of review of that hardware, but put on like our own internal production? And so we've been able to test out some things, get live chat feedback from the audience, and really establish ourselves as people who are like on the cutting edge of trying these new technologies. But I have a feeling you're going to talk about our swag.
No.
No.
I'm going to butcher it, but it was like the Pokemon Go thing that you guys did for Dragon Con.
Dragon Con.
Yes, that to me was brilliant.
Thank you. Okay. On that note, so what he's referring to is we have created an interactive scavenger hunt using micro-location-enabled devices, so beacons, although this could be done with geofencing as well, to actually give you kind of the scavenger hunt around Dragon Con. We were doing this with the Trek Track, which is Star Trek fans. Which if you had come to our office yesterday, we were actually wearing Star Trek uniforms promoting it for this year.
Nice.
So you missed that, unfortunately.
I did, yes, but this would be a good interview to be in the Star Trek uniforms.
Yeah, but we actually had great success with that. We had hundreds of people download and play. Yeah. And for our first year with very little promotion, that was amazing. And then we realized this was a scalable, we could reskin the graphics and everything, and we actually created a kind of bird watching version of it that we brought to a conference in Mexico last fall. And now
cool.
It is actually going to Las Vegas next week.
Is it really?
To be at the official Star Trek convention in partnership with one of the vendors there. So
that is brilliant.
It's really
awesome.
exciting times. So that's why we were all in our uniforms yesterday doing a photo shoot. I'll have to send you some pics.
All right, one last question.
Yes.
So I've always been fascinated by AR and VR because of commercial real estate, and everyone keeps saying it's coming, it's going to come, and yet it still hasn't come.
Right.
But in your opinion, since you're in it every day, what industries are poised to be affected the most or improved the most by AR, VR?
Yeah, so one of the big ones for us is training, and I guess that's not industry specific, but more any industry specific. So being able to train to do new tasks or unfamiliar tasks, both before you go to perhaps an unsafe work situation, like if you're going on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean, like that's dangerous.
It is.
It'd be nice to really get a feel of what it's like before you go and to really be able to prepare yourself. Or on site. So there are ways using augmented reality to overlay information, kind of like what I'm doing here, except not a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Right.
Something actually useful to your job, to be able to assist you while on site at these jobs. So that's a big one.
That makes sense.
In real estate and just even on the commercial side as well as residential or just product visualization, I think being able to really lay out your rooms and understand what's going to fit and how it's going to look. Because, I mean, not everyone can have the vision that I had when I came in.
You did. I mean, if you could see the ceiling tiles in here, I mean, everything you've done is pretty amazing.
It's been a lot of work, but I'm so happy. Like, we get so many compliments, which, I mean, a lot of it was not just our vision, but our combined vision and your ability to negotiate it on our behalf. So that was helpful.
Jennifer and Christy, more so than me.
They were rock stars.
They were rock stars, amazing.
Yes.
I just kind of get to do the cool things like we're doing here.
Yes, but that being said, you know, coming into this space and being able to see what it looks like with that wall knocked down. Like, we just thought we wanted a wall knocked down because we needed more space, but we didn't know what that was actually going to look like. And there was some uncertainty and some tension there, and then we came in and we're like, oh, this is good.
This is good,
But it could have happened, you know, a very different way. And once a wall's knocked down, it's costly to add it back.
But it's kind of permanent.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, I feel like just for visualization of products and plans in the architecture space or building construction or just any of this.
Yeah.
Really
I always think, you know, for me, how cool it would be to have what you have on.
Well, I'm going to pass it over. I want him to see it. And I probably have what I call magneto face, which is like the little imprint, but you'll just kind of expand it from the back.
Cool.
So
perfect.
You can use this to add new things to the environment. There's a menu over here.
That
so you can click and drag, and you should be able to hopefully see like the T-Rex and the cloud.
I've got the jellyfish. I'm gonna put the jellyfish somewhere right there next to the chair. But what I'm thinking is, what would be really cool is if you had a client for what we do, and to be able to have the menu that no one can see except for me, which is really cool, by the way. But be able to drag up here my benching, and I'm gonna put the benching over here. You know, right now what I'm seeing is a fish, which, God, this is so cool. But that would be so cool. Okay, now I can visualize this 12-person bench, and instead of this little, you know, night of the round table, I've now got my desk and everything else. So that to me would be so helpful because people don't know. Yeah. They don't know, and they kind of walk around like, well, where does the furniture go? Where could we put the technology? To me, this would help speed up our process so much.
Awesome. So, well, I'll have to work on that.
I know. Annie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick.
It's a pleasure as always seeing you.